welcome to Great County Life on Rogers TV. I'm one of your hosts, Rhonda Brown.
And I'm Mary J. Murray, and this is your favorite lifestyle magazine show on Rogers TV.
Whew, it has been a crazy week for me personally, but it's going at the speed of sound. But I definitely wanted to say that there is something coming up on May 19th and the 20th. It is from 9 a.m. till 1 p.m. and it is the Fresh Roots Food, Forest and Garden at the bottom of 10th Street East. They are having their plant sale. And with their plant sale, they're going to have tools, plants, teas, preserves, information. And if you haven't met Mike Haley, he is a partner with Raquel. Great Gallery, and just one of the most talented, sweet people in Owen Sound. We are so lucky that they've planted their little spot here with us. But I have gone down to the Fresh Roots Food, Forest and Garden for one of their mushroom log classes, and they are just a wealth of information, so considerate and forthcoming with information. Like, they're just amazing. So I wanted to say a big shout out to that, and all of the proceeds go to the Mental Health Association here in town. So it's linked with the Fresh Roots Cafe, and it's just a fantastic organization, a great way to give back to the community. They have classes as well coming through all through. So on July 23rd, there's basket making. Permaculture on September 15th, which is something that I'm trying to figure out how to do in my yard. And then another mushroom log class is on October the 18th. And I have my log in my backyard, and it's going to start sprouting mushrooms next year apparently, and fingers crossed that Charlie doesn't do too much damage to it. But so.
Well, it's always great to promote Fresh Roots Cafe and the Fresh Roots Garden, because they do such a great job in our community. And a lot of the fresh vegetables from the gardens end up at the cafe. I mean, they support one another, so great.
And if you have gardening questions, it's right downtown, which is convenient. And as far as I understand, it's a community garden. So if you need a spot, this is it. This is the place to be. So
well, I have an update as well. And even though we're taping on a Wednesday, which is May the 10th, coming up this Sunday is Mother's Day. But by the time the show airs, it will already have passed. But the thing is, honoring mothers, we all do that in various ways. You know, we might cook a meal, or with my family, it's usually phone calls and Zoom calls because we're all spread out, or flowers or gifts and things like that. But this author, Robert Picard, from Toronto, he wrote a book. So there you go, folks.
Just say, and I said to Mary Jane, Emerson and Carolyn need to step it up a little bit here, you know.
So the book is actually riveting. The agent, Paul Clark, sent me a couple of audio chapters, and I was just enthralled. The language is absolutely beautiful. But it's a novel that captures the story of Picard's mother, and her name is Goody. Well, her name is Veta, but everybody calls her Goody. A young girl born in the mid-1900s in the picturesque Blue Mountains of Jamaica. Now, with the sudden loss of both her parents, she finds herself as an indentured servant and has to figure out a way how to escape Jamaica via England, and then to Canada. And her journey is just mesmerizing in terms of what a mother will do for her child for a better life. And so when I talked to the agent, Paul Clark, I said, I will promote this book. It's a Mother's Day story, but it's a story that will resonate in the hearts of many mothers in terms of the immigrant story, the traumas and the trials and tribulations to build another life. So it's using Gaudi's powerful story, Robert captures the familiar journey of many Jamaican immigrants to Canada with grace and reverence, while offering a glimpse into the untold stories of Caribbean people who made the arduous journey to find a better life in Canada. And it's always amazing to me the number of immigrants who come into our country and thrive. And with all our social services behind, maybe we're not perfect, but we also give folks an opportunity to build a better life. And so this book can be purchased, and there is an audio book available as well, and I listened to the first 2 chapters. So I think that, you know, if you're looking for a wonderful story about an immigrant and success story, then get the book Goddie, Goddie. And
I think I'm going to do that.
and I think this is the first book that Robert has written, I think. So
Well, maybe he'll carry on.
I'm sure there's more journeys as well.
Yeah. Wow. Well, I look forward to that. It's funny, you know, you're absolutely right. We get mired down in our trials and tribulations, and then you think, wow, imagine if you had to immigrate to another country where the language is foreign, the food, the people, the customs, everything is different, and you have to start over. Boy, yeah.
And it's an escape journey. So, you know, many of us have no idea what that is like.
Yeah. Well, we have a fabulous show today, and we hope everyone had, because this is next week, had a wonderful Mother's Day and enjoyed the sunshine. And we look forward to a musical guest, so you'll have to stay tuned to Grey County Life on Rogers TV.
This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks?
Do you feel angry or depressed most of the time? Do you feel neglected or unloved?
Do you feel that if the drinker loved you, she or he would stop drinking?
If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
Not everyone trapped by alcohol is an alcoholic.
Families and friends are suffering too. Al-Anon and Alateen can help. Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
After a night out with your friends, not having a plan for a safe ride home can leave you in a bad spot. You could end up riding in a police car, an ambulance, or a hearse. These unplanned modes of transportation can be a costly choice and do not take you home. Your plan could include a designated driver, a taxi, or public transit. Drink responsibly, choose your ride, and have a plan for a safe ride home.
Visit arrivealive.org to find out more.
Welcome back to Grey County Life on Rogers TV. I am very pleased to have my friend Jill Umbach, who is the coordinator for the Bruce Grey Poverty Task Force. But we're going to be talking about a colleague today, and the very important contributions that she has made. And we're really sort of honoring her passing as well. Jill and I attended her funeral as a friend and colleague for Marie Krauter. And the tributes to her life were very wonderful reflection of her, because she was such an amazing person. But she is a woman of amazing talents and skills and interests, that through the eulogy, not everything was captured, which would be almost impossible anyway. We'd still be there. Because she was just involved in so many things. So what Jill and I wanted to do today was talk about this one particular project that involved Jill and I and Marie at the same time. Because Marie was a very integral part of Bridges Out of Poverty and Getting Ahead. And the impact that she made on so many lives will carry them through to make the changes that they choose to make in their lives. And we wanted to not only honor the impact, but the dedication that she showed to the folks that she was part of in terms of the Getting Ahead program. And she captured people with her very bubbly personality. And it was just, you felt a friendship and a connection with her the first time you met her. And I think Marie was the anchor that actually solidified the Getting Ahead programs and helped to build them into such a success. So Jill, here we are. We didn't bring a box of Kleenex.
We didn't bring any Kleenex. I'm not gonna cry. But I mean, light and love. I mean, a person that brought so much energy to the work that she did, and it extended outside of the work that she did at the YMCA to the connections and the people. And as you said, she held people together. She was somebody that started off our Getting Ahead sessions with us, that really did the group building, the dynamics, recognizing who was in the room. She saw you. She recognized you. She looked you in the eye and said, you'll fit. You'll be part of the team. And I think that's just an incredible, I don't know what, it's not a skill, it's an intuitive sense of how do we bring people together that are in crisis, and how do we look at stabilizing their life and moving forward.
Wow. Well, and I think what was really important that she was able to do, and this was this amazing skill set that she had, is that people felt that they were seen. And sometimes people who were coming into the Getting Ahead program didn't feel that they were seen, that they were heard, that they had any power, or didn't have a voice. And Marie, through the day, through the True Colors program that she presented through the day, helped people to better understand themselves and to better understand the people around them. And also, which helped me personally, the people in my family. I mean,
yes, as facilitators, we were also able to, every time going through that with Marie, examine where we were at in our own lives too.
So not only that, you got to understand that there was 4 colors in the True Colors program, and I'm wearing all of them today in honor of Marie, because I can't make up my mind. There's the gold, there's the green, there's the blue, and there's the orange. And what it does is it helps you to understand that the person of a different color personality was not lying awake at night trying to trip you up or make your life miserable. It was just understanding the characteristics and behaviors of that color. So I came home understanding, having a better understanding of all of my family members, and the little bell would go off. Oh yeah, he's being really green today. You know, this is how you respond. Or he's really orange, like brilliant orange, I'm leaving the room. You know, this sort of thing. But the thing that Marie was employed by the Y Employment Services The Getting Ahead program is a collaboration between the Adult Learning Center, the Y Employment Services, United Way, Bruce Gray, and
Bruce County and Grey County, Ontario Works.
Social Services. I knew I would gap on one of them.
It was a lot.
So, I mean, the Getting Ahead program was a collaboration of all of those organizations coming together. But Marie was the glue.
She was. She was the glue. She was also somebody who brought some lightness and laughter to a day as well. So as well as sort of a lot of people, as Mary Jane said, would start off a day, and anyone about to embark on a potentially 8-week-long course that's going to look at examining your life, and no one likes to do that willingly, you know? And so she would make a day of welcome. She would engage people, even the quietest person in the room, if they were secretly gold or green and they'd like to just sit back and listen, she would engage them. There was a lot of laughter, and a lot of being able to talk about issues and how I am, how you are, without judgment. And I think that was the other thing with Marie, was that she was a very giving person without judgment. So you sense that you wanted to open up, that you wanted to talk about things with her because she wasn't going to judge you.
I get the idea that people would just gravitate to her. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. She was able to draw you in. You almost felt like you were embraced because of the way in which this amazing skill set. But it also gave people the opportunity to self-evaluate, to say, this is a program that I want to be a part of, or this is a program that isn't the right time for me yet. And so we would not start a Getting Ahead program until Marie was available to do the first day. That is how integral she was to the program, because we couldn't envision actually doing Getting Ahead without her. Because people need to assess, is this the right time for me? And yes, I'm going to continue on with this program. And as Jill mentioned today, for 10 years.
10 years.
10 years.
We ran the program.
We kept a 91% retention rate.
Wow. Which is incredible for this kind of thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And where there were 38 graduations.
37 graduations.
And guess where Marie was on graduation day?
The loudest cheerleader you could ever have at the end of every graduation. 8 weeks intensive, and she would be there at the end for the graduation, and always have the kindest word. She saw people at the beginning and the end, and also, I would add, she also continued with people, because in her role at the YMCA, many people would be looking at employment resources, and she was that person. So she met them on the first day, she was there on the last day, but she also held their hand as they continued on.
Wow. So one of the things with this program for 10 years, which was amazing, because it started off as a pilot program for 1 year, and the graduating group actually went to Grey County Social Services Committee and talked them into supporting this group and continuing it on, even though all the, some of the other programs were being slashed. The investment, the dollar investment into this program was integral to keeping it going for 10 years. And we want to not only honor Marie and her contribution, but also for a program that really in the same format lasted 10 years. 252 graduates from all, 5 or 6 different regions within Grey and Bruce counties, which is absolutely amazing achievement in that. And then, of course, we hit COVID. and how, there's always a BC before COVID and an AC after COVID. But all programs need to evolve and change.
Yep.
And so when I retired, Jill came in and brought new energy to the program and brought a continuation, because you actually started doing additional support groups.
Yes. Yeah. So, I mean, it's one of those programs where you pick up, it resonates well with people in the area. And I think that's what was really important about the program, is that the people that went through the program connected with it. So understanding where we examine where we are within the economic area, understanding where we are within our own selves. How many resources do we have? What have I not connected with? Maybe I'm low on social capital and I need to increase my networking in order to stabilize my life. But I think under all of that 10 years, what we really were sharing back with social services and with politicians is the need to stabilize lives first. And some of that may be find some housing. You can't stabilize your life if you're couch surfing, and we know that right now with our homeless population. You can't stabilize yourself if you can't keep a job because you don't have childcare and transportation. So there's so many other factors that need to go into it. And I'm happy to say that the current employment transformation that's happening with social services in our area, life stabilization now is part of the core programming, that is front and center. Before you can do employment and be employed, there's so many other things that need to be stable in your life. And I think Getting Ahead really pushed that envelope of saying it's more than just go out and get a job and change your life. It really is, all these other factors have to be stable in your life to be able to sustain and keep a job.
Yeah.
Well, I think too, over that 10 years, it actually changed the landscape of how counselors and clients were working together. So one of the comments from the counselors after the first 2 or 3 groups was, well, now they're coming to me with the plan and saying, this is what needs to be done. And how are you going to help me facilitate moving forward with my life? And the counselors kind of had to do a different head shake and say, wait a second. This has really become a partnership and a collaboration. It's not me behind the desk telling you what you should do with your life. And now you're coming to me and saying, okay,
we need this, and this.
And this.
Yeah.
And to stabilize, to make decisions about going forward with my life. And one of the things about Getting Ahead was everyone chose their own path, what was important and what was needed. And so everything was weighted on the same level playing field, because some people will say, you know, this is a very toxic person in my life, I need to exit that relationship. Other people, and that's a priority to stabilize your life. Other people were saying, I need dentures. I need new teeth because I'm not employable if I don't have new teeth. And so, and then other people were saying, I need to get my GED. Other people, I need to go to college and build a career. Other people were saying housing and mental health, or developing partnerships with agencies opposed to conflict with agencies.
So I think we had the individual change. We had people working individually. I think the piece that you were speaking about with regards to speaking to politicians and counselors and mayors is that we saw also a change in people's interest in community engagement. And so our community voices from the Poverty Task Force was made up of graduates from the Getting Ahead program who wanted to do more. They wanted to look at system change. They wanted to look at, well, why don't we have transportation in our community? And how do we advocate for change? And how is our voice powerful enough to affect change with our local municipalities? So it really did change the dynamics around having people with lived experience across all sectors be able to be engaged with the city of Owen Sound or be able to be engaged with a municipality and then take it up to the county level. We also met with MPs and MPPs too. So it took it all the way up in terms of people, and people were amazed. Oh my gosh, I'm sitting with the mayor and the mayor's listening to me and I'm having a discussion and I can say hi to the mayor at Timmy's and we can have a discussion on the need for better transportation or this, and they're listened to. So start with that first day with Marie, being listened to as a person, individually, as in I care and we're gonna work through things, all the way to people successfully being involved in influencing policy.
It's we've had so many success stories from that in terms of people who have gone on and changed their lives, not only just stabilize their lives, but actually thrive. College diplomas and degrees and full-time employment, but at the same time understanding that before I can move forward, there's a toxicity that is happening in my life that I have to make some shifts with. And one of the things I think, almost like a core underlying feature of what Marie did when she said, I see you, I hear you, you are worthy, is almost like a new experience for some people.
It would be.
But it also said, well, wait a minute, yes, I am worthy. And it starts to build that confidence to actually sit with the mayor or, you know, talk to MPs or MPPs or councillors, city councillors, municipal councillors, and talk about those changes.
It sounds like there's going to be some huge shoes to be filled with Marie's absence.
How is that possible?
I don't know. I know that the team that she works with, the YMCA, has a program called Motion and Momentum, and I know, a shout out to that team. They're devastated. They're picking up the pieces and the group is moving forward because she did pass in the midst of a group. So there is work that's still going on, and my heart goes out to Sherry and the team that are, you know, having to move forward with this, and it was a big impact on the current group. But yeah, her legacy will be that we will continue to advocate for these types of programs for people in Grey Bruce.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Jill, for coming today to talk about Marie, and we honor her contribution to our community. We'll be back after these messages.
Ani, I'm Carolyn King, and I'm a member of the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation and the creator of the Moccasin Identifier. Philip Cote, an artist in Toronto here, took and redrew real moccasins. We're starting over with the children. The idea is that they would research whose land their school is built on, near, or what treaty area they're in. And the educational kit that we have has all that information in there. And the children just, like, love it. My dream is that this province will be covered with moccasin identifiers within the next decade. And they will forever know whose land they're on. That's the goal. Educate and awareness with a nice, simple little program called the Moccasin Identifier.
Hi, I'm David Shearman, host of Politically Speaking. Join me for my next show, where my guests will be members of the Grey Bruce Health Coalition. Politically Speaking on Rogers TV.
A hospital room, the lights are dim. I make the bed again. but I still remember the look on your face. Family of 3, wife of kids. He tells the story of a life well lived, 40 years together, now goodbye. It never gets any better. I can't help but cry. Feel I failed you even when I tried. Question why I ever chose this life. It never gets any better. But I'll stand by your side, won't leave for a while, even when you close your eyes. So sing sweet nightingale, sing sweet nightingale. I'm part of her army, put the weight on me. So sing sweet nightingale, sing sweet nightingale. I'm part of her army, put the weight on me. And I will stay awake each night so you can sleep. A moan in silence for the gone too soon. I pack your things from a hospital room. I call your kin, tell them the news. It never gets any better. But I'll stand by your side, won't leave for a while, even when you close your eyes. So sing sweet nightingale, sing sweet nightingale. I'm part of her army, put the weight on me. So sing sweet nightingale, sing sweet nightingale. I'm part of her army, put the weight on me. Frustrated, why can't we succeed? I'm burned out more than you'll ever see. Oh, when I cry, oh, it makes me feel weak, but I'll set it all aside when we meet. So I'll hold on. Oh, I'll hold on. So sing sweet nightingale, sing sweet nightingale. I'm part of her army, put the weight on me. Sing sweet nightingale, sing sweet nightingale. I'm part of her army, put the weight on me. So sing sweet nightingale. But I won't give up the fight so easily. But I won't give up the fight, so please breathe.
Oh my goodness, we have Gracie Jet. And I have to say, I saw Gracie on Facebook and thought, we need to get this lady on our show. And boy, are we glad we did this.
Well, the song is amazing. But the voice is so soulful. We just want to know more about you, Gracie, in terms of, when you got into music and your day job as well, and how the two might even blend at some point.
Absolutely. So I'm Gracie, and I've been singing since I was a little kid. I've always loved being in front of the camera. If you've seen some of my other songs, Bicycle, it has tons of little videos from when I was a child, and I was always pushing my sisters out of the way to get into the limelight. So that's kind of been the story from even when I was a little child, and as I've grown up, I've always pursued music. I love music, everything about it. As a songwriter, I love being able to tell a story, and when the pandemic hit, everything shut down, and as a musician, that was hard for me because any shows, any live music, everything was kind of put on hold, right? And as a singer and a songwriter, it was really impacting my life. So, and also as a nurse, throughout the pandemic, those were some really hard things to go through as a nurse, as a songwriter, and as just an individual trying to live life through the pandemic. But I started taking songwriting lessons right at the beginning of the pandemic, and I met a man named Marie Krauter, and he's in Great Bixby, and he owns a songwriting school.
Oh, very
yes,
cool.
lovely.
Very cool.
And so I started writing songs with him, and he really pushed me to really challenge myself as a songwriter. And I wrote one of the first songs I wrote with him. Like, I wrote it myself, but he helped me, mentored me, kind of gave me advice, but never changed the lyrics. I had to always come back with new stuff in the next week. So I wrote Nightingale, and I think it's such a song of also what I've seen, but also a song of hope, right? So I'm telling this story as a nurse and what I've seen, and the pandemic was really hard, and I think as a nurse, all of it was hard. The change in the environment at work, having to wear the masks, and definitely all the gowning. But it also, we had to, as a team, work together. And like I say in the song, I'll stay awake each night so you can sleep. And I think watching over people throughout the night is something I think is amazing, that as nurses, we're there to care, we're there to be there to support you, but also to be there as even a listening ear. And I think this song shows that as nurses, how much love we put into our job and how hard we work. And so I releasing this song for nurses this week is a kind of a full circle moment. I've been nursing at the Ornstown Hospital for the last 6 years, and it's been an amazing experience as a nurse. There has been some really hard times, but there's also been some really good times. So, yeah.
So you're drawing on some of your life experiences through the nursing profession, as well as integrating that into your music. But you also have a wider variety of songs and music styles. So tell us about that.
Yes. So my music is pop, indie music. So it's a lot of ballads, a lot of songs. I like to tell a story throughout my songs. So Sister is the first song I released this year, and that was my debut single. And yes, thank you. To have music out feels amazing. And I like to tell a story. I like to pull from things in my life. So Sister was my first single, is about my sister and her journey with mental health. And then Bicycle is a story of my dad. My dad is actually here today, as you met him earlier, and he is the coolest guy I've ever met. He makes me laugh, and I grew up in England, and he taught me how to ride a bike. And then I draw from also the hospital. So when I work, there's a lot of people that come in and have their family members that have dementia or Alzheimer's, and they have to try to introduce themselves back into their parents' lives, because they may not remember them. And so from that song, I took, if my dad forgot who I was, how would I tell him, how would I get him to remember who I was? Because I hear all the time, "Hi, Dad, it's me, Grace. Remember, I'm your daughter. Remember, we used to ride a bike together." And that's where the concepts came from for the song Bicycle, because I think drawing from real life, people can relate to that. I think the themes in my songs, people can understand where I'm coming from and see that in their own lives. And I think that's what I want to do with my music, is write songs that people can relate to, engage with, and also like cry with and laugh with and have a good time, right? Because I write a lot of sad songs, but I like when they have a good message. So
you know what? I always feel like if it doesn't make me cry or laugh, then what is the point? Because that creates that connection, and we're all connected, and we're all going through this crazy thing called life together.
Yes, absolutely.
And we experience so many of the same things. And when I try to fathom what it was like as somebody who likes to perform, and that connection you have when you're doing a live performance, to have that taken away and have your place of employment be something that was, I can't even imagine what it was like being a frontline worker, astounding, that you had to deal with all of that at the same time. So, I think the emotion in that song is just breathtaking.
Wow, it brought me to tears. It did. It was so powerful. Very, very soulful. Very powerful. And your voice is amazing.
Thank you.
It's amazing. But you also have an upcoming event.
I do. I will be playing at Heartwood on June 9th. It's with Factor Canada, and it's one night, 2 shows. So I will be there. Me and my band have been practicing, and we sound good, and we're going to be playing a lot of my unreleased songs. So if you've been already releasing, there'll be more to come. So I'm really excited for that show.
Now, are some of these songs on your new album?
So I will be releasing an album this year, later in the year, but all the songs the songs that I'll be playing at Heartwood will all be on the album. Yes.
Oh, that would be very
so it's going to be exciting, and it's great to hear the songs with a full band. I think it's just going to be epic, and I like to put on a good show. So if you want to come laugh and sing with me, then that's good.
And so that's Heartwood?
Heartwood.
On
June 9th, yes.
And what, is that a Friday, a Saturday?
It's a Friday.
It's a Friday.
Yeah, Friday,
okay.
June 9th, yes.
And tickets?
Tickets will be on sale on the Heartwood website, and I will be posting on my social media to links to the tickets.
Okay.
Sounds good. I have texted my daughter and said, hey, heads up, we're going to the Heartwood.
I love that. Great.
Yeah, can't wait. That'll be a fun evening. Yeah. Oh. Now, what time does that start?
The doors open at 7.
Okay.
Yes. And there is a band before me, and then it will be my band. Yes.
And there's such a great musical community within the Owen Sound and Grey County area. And so when you put your band together, how do you sort of do that and draw on the talent we have?
Yes. So I met my band through, so I used to play a lot of shows out in Sauble Beach. And I met Bruce Worthington, and he's a musician around the area. And I met some people through him, and Paige Warner from Owen Sound. She's so lovely. And I've been able to connect with her, and she's given me great advice over the years, and she's become a great friend. So, and I was able to meet Josh Ritchie, and he's now in my band, which is great, and his father that was here with me, Rob Ritchie. And I've been able to meet some amazing people, but definitely getting out there and meeting different musicians just at different shows and stuff has been amazing. I've met some great people, and I always was kind of scared to get a band together. I was like, well, people want to play with me? Like, do people want to do this? Like, wants to do this with me? And I've been so excited. I've been so blessed this year. To meet so many amazing musicians and get so many great opportunities, and so it's been a crazy ride releasing these songs this year. I always say 2023 is my year to kind of break out onto the market, you know what I mean? And it's been great. So as I start to write more and kind of find my footing in the industry, it feels great to be surrounded by people that are so amazing, and I think I can be quite quirky and out there. So I think it's so great to have a band that like sees who I am and is like, yes,
you go, girl.
Yeah, you go, girl. Yeah. So I love that. So I'm surrounded by a great group of people. So,
what do your fellow nurses. Have you played this for them? Are they aware of what's going on?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
My whole, I work on the medicine floor, 6'1" and 6'2", shout out to my ladies. They love it. Actually, my boss, Brent, he actually brought me a guitar to play, and brought in a lovely guitar and had me play a song for all the staff. So everyone is so supportive of my music, and I think the song Nightingale, I think because it is such a raw song and it isn't sugarcoating what happens in a hospital. It's real, and I think it's our anthem. I think for nurses to hear the story of what they have seen and have it put into music, I think it's so powerful, and everyone at work has really kind of stood behind me and really supported me throughout my music, and so it's been great. But I think the hospital is going to be releasing something too, just to kind of so everyone can hear it, and so I think that's great. Yeah, no, the hospital's been great.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
We have such an amazing musical or artistic community, and there is that tendency to support each other through this. We had Paige Warner on the show a while ago, which was lovely, and it's great that you are supporting, that she is supporting you and mentoring you along the way, which I have found with a number of musical talent that we have, how they coalesce and cheer each other on.
Absolutely. And I think too, as a musician, that's how I found out about Rogers TV to come on here, because she does give me advice, and she has told me how to kind of navigate the industry a bit more, and I think that's been helpful, because I think someone coming into the industry, it's a big world, right? And there's so many different things, and you want to say the right thing, and I want to do a good job. I want to put out music that people like, but also means something to me, and trying to find different shows, and that's a big thing. Trying to find different venues to play at, and because I love live music. I love the interaction. I love talking to a big venue of people, and having the clapping and just the banter between the audience and myself. I think it's the best thing. So I think with the pandemic slowly starting to ease off, and things starting to go back to normal, to have these live shows is amazing, and people can really have a great time. So I'm excited.
Awesome. Gracie, we can't wait to see you down at Heartwood June 9th on Friday night in Owen Sound. Heartwood is the place to be, to see Gracie Jet on stage, being her authentic self. Thank you so much for today.
Thank you.
We'll be back after these messages.
Lovely viewers, it's your host of On the Couch, Antoine El Hashim, reminding you to tune in for every episode of Season 9 of the longest running and most loved local queer talk show on Rogers TV. Check it out.
Yo. Yep. Okay, I'll be there.
You're so right. Zach has terrible takes.
I know, right? Like, legit. Everyone makes fun of my take just because I wanted to be bold and just throw myself out there.
But also, I got to apologize quickly. I can't come back next season. Live Golf has paid me $50 million to do their sports wrap show.
The Jays do not make the playoffs.
That's it. I'm leaving. That's when Odell Beckham Jr. will be donning the green and yellow.
October 5th, 2014, my daughter was hit by a train. She was walking along the sides of the tracks, and it shattered her world.
life on Rogers TV for one of our favorite segments, Adorable Adoptables with Renee. And oh my goodness, we've got a triple whammy here today.
I know. Three's a charm. I think we had 3 guineas last week. This week we got 3 kittens. We seem to be on a 3 roll, which is okay. 3 little kittens have lost their mittens, right? We could go on for hours. And they're home and their mom, like, oh, so sad. Is it working? Take all 3. Is it working, please? We spoke a few weeks ago about how kitten season had not hit us. Surprise! Here it is. I was hoping. Actually, it's not that bad, and I'm still like touching wood and stuff when I say that. These were our first bundle of stray kittens. If you can imagine, and clearly not wild, these guys were found outside.
Oh gosh.
Sad, right? Luckily, their finder knew Mama and had been keeping an eye, as unfortunately Mama had been popping out babies a couple times a year for the last 6 years.
Oh, dear word. Yeah.
But good news, I'm going to make the story happy now. We've caught her finally. And so Mama is at the shelter and she will be spayed and her baby having days are over and she will find herself a home. Now she's a little on the wild side, so it could be a barn home or a feral home, but we'll see how that goes in time. But the good news is these little monkeys are not going to be street cats. As you can see, they're super good to handle. Thank goodness for that finder who was working with them, because like this is like you'd never know. You'd never know. Yeah. A lot of people are super turned off when we say, oh, they were strays, and they're worried about personality, they're worried about behaviors, they're worried about them wanting to be outside. And I can tell you 100% that even those crazy feral cats, even the mama, may change her mind. The bottom line is inside is happier, it's cleaner, safer. They're going to live 20 years if they're inside. We want you to keep them in. And these little monkeys don't have any idea that the outside world is where they started. You keep them in now, they'll forget all about it, and the transition is really quite easy. Also, notice they're not wild, so it's all okay. You can still adopt a stray. I feel like we need to make t-shirts. You can still adopt a stray, because it really is an odd thing for people. They go, oh.
And
they started outside, right?
I always think that they're just so darn happy to have a place.
They really are.
They're even easier going.
Yeah. Well,
I always thought
these guys are really good ambassadors for that, because like, look at them. Just look at them. They're fine. They also do not have any parasites. We're checking everybody anyway. And if I can be entirely honest, I've seen some pretty nasty things come out of people's homes. So it's just because they're outside doesn't mean that they're clean.
That's right.
Or dirty, either way. Everybody is vetted. They have seen the vet. They've been given the all okay. They've had their vaccines. They are litter trained. Thank goodness for that, right? I can see that being a concern with an outdoor cat.
Yeah. Yep.
You don't got to worry about it in this case. And of course, they're really good with each other, good with other cats. They've even met a couple of dogs, and although they get a little spitty and puffy, you know that cat, they do that, you little spitty puffy.
I have days where I am spitty puffy, okay?
Don't take it. Look at his face. He's like really spitty puffy.
Yeah,
you use that? Well, that's how it is. Even though they do that, they're certainly not going to hurt your dog, and they're going to learn real quick that they're buddies. After they got spitty puffy with the ones they met at the shelter, they were okay with them, and they're going to be fine. This little fella, this is a boy, is going to be long-coated. It means he probably had a different daddy. We're not going to talk about that today so much in detail. He is going to be long-haired, and we don't get an awful lot of long-haired. So if you're maybe waiting, or you know somebody who said they're looking for a fluffy little fella, give us a call.
The color on him is stunning.
He is going to be a gorgeous cat.
He is gorgeous.
You're going to be gorgeous, aren't you? And you're so darn cute. Yeah. I believe the one in your hand is a girl. I'm going by the one that had a spot on its nose. I think it's that one. I think, and I think that one is also a boy. One of those is a boy.
I think this is a boy.
There, okay.
I think.
That one, one of those is a girl.
There's not a lot of evidence there, but I think there's a little something.
Maybe that's the boy. You flash it this way, I'll see if I can. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. In any case, they are not spayed and neutered. We need to mention that once again, because just because we got Mama off the streets doesn't mean we want these ones reproducing. They are too young for me to fix. Do not do them at this age. It develops all sorts of problems as they age without hormones. If they were still homeless at 5 months, different story, but we don't want that. I don't want to hold them 3 months. No way. So please be aware that that is a cost you'll have to do later or inquire about, because we don't want you to call me in 6 months with babies, right? No way. No way.
We're cutting a loose here.
Yep. They do always do better as pairs, and I'm not just giving you a line. There's somebody for them to chase. There's somebody for them to chew. There's somebody for them to be little tigers
Keep
with.
them off your stuff.
No pressure, of course, with that, especially as there's 3, because then we got to make somebody be lonely. But of course, if you want a pair, this is a good opportunity to do so. Or if you need a companion for your cat who maybe is driving you crazy, maybe this is the solution.
This is the way to go.
That's my excuse for having multiple pets. They needed buddies. I mean, whatever.
They needed a
whatever
friend,
excuse
Mom.
I needed, right? They speak the same language. It's important.
So I do have to ask about
Oh, yes.
the guinea pigs last week.
They're all still homeless.
Oh.
I know. Not one phone call. What the heck?
Wow.
I know.
Yeah.
Weird, right?
Yeah.
We usually don't have that sad update. So if you were considering a guinea, call me. If you weren't considering a guinea, consider a guinea. Call me. They were 8-week-old babies. They were males, super friendly.
All the benefits of having a guinea pig.
I know.
I'm flabbergasted.
I know, me too.
Yeah.
Adoptions are a little lower this year than they are typically. It may just be a seasonal thing. It might just be people are busy. I don't know, but I'd like them to go home.
Yeah.
So
and
tell
there
all
are
your friends.
options for people.
Tell
there
all your
are
friends.
options. I know it can be expensive sometimes to have a pet.
Absolutely.
And times are a little rough for people, but there's always things we can do to help with that.
Absolutely. Call me. I can hook you up with all sorts of resources. Absolutely. Right? And a couple of kittens. Look at how friendly you are. Look at this. Yeah. Why, look at it. It's you're great.
Very
stray cats.
He really is. The color on him is fantastic.
He's gorgeous. I feel like he has some Persian in his heritage. I would never promise that, but the Persians are a breed of cat that have a double coat, and he has one. And if we look, I don't know how closely the camera's going to get in here, but if we look super close, he's actually a different color under here.
Yeah.
He is the smoke gray, which is very common in the Persian breeds. So maybe you got some fancy heritage. Only your mama knows.
So can a cat have a pregnancy with 2 different fathers?
They can have a pregnancy with 5 different fathers.
Wow.
What? I know. That's why often they're different colors. See, I told you we weren't going to go there, but that's a whole other show.
We're always there.
They sure can. They breed very well. That's all we're going to say about that.
They're really good at it.
They're really good.
Well, we can't wait to see what happens. I'm sure these guys are going to have families for next week. Well, thanks for joining us on Grey County Life on Rogers. We will see you next week.
Call the Rogers TV viewer response line, email us, or connect with us on social media.
With clubs, leagues, and courts in every province and territory across Canada, squash is the sport for wall-to-wall fun, fitness, and friendship. From coast to coast to coast. Learn to play and you'll want to do it every day. Squash. Play inside the box.
When an impaired driver killed my brother DJ, my life changed forever. During the pandemic, all of our lives changed, and many of us turned to alcohol and drugs to